ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सागणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी शाश्वत देशधारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। नमो ब्राह्मण देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्हिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय ते नमः। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरक्षसे नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नामाचार्य दास ठाकुर की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा। I'm posting the attendance link in the chat. Okay. Please mark your attendance. Chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga or the devotional service. So we know that Bhagavad Gita has been divided into 3 divisions. What are they? What are the 3 divisions? Yes. What are first 6 chapters called as? It deals with
Karma Yoga, Mataji.
Yes, good. And then from chapter 7 to 12?
Bhakti Yoga and then Jnana Yoga.
Yeah. So this Bhakti Yoga, so this is the last chapter in Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga is the most important thing which has been kept in the middle. It has been kept as just like Prabhupada says, like in a bread, there is a sandwich. The inside, the stuffing one is the more tastiest one, right? So the more tastiest one is kept in the middle, and it's easy. I mean, easy process, right? Bhakti is a easy process. But then even the other, the next week we will start with the chapter 13, which is more of philosophy. No? So how through knowledge one can understand Krishna. Actually, the end goal is to attain bhakti only, right? So anyone can identify who are these? Every day you chant their names.
Sri
The
Krishna
Panch-
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri
Yeah,
Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi.
yeah, yes. These are
So,
Panchatattva.
yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
yeah. So Advaita Acharya in the last, the white one, and then Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sadashiva, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then Gadadhara Pandita and Srivas Acharya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All glories to Sri Sri Radha Govinda. Let's take the blessings. Yeah. So chapter 11 sections. So last week we learned about the chapter 11, where Arjuna, it starts with Arjuna's uh, request. Arjuna, like after showing all the opulences in the chapter 10, he says that everything, he didn't have any doubt, but then for establishing Krishna's superiority, right? So, and he asked, I mean, he asked the Lord to show his universal form. And then, so Sanjaya is describing the universal form to Dhritarashtra. And then Krishna says that time I am, so you have to just only become my instrument. So anyways, I'm going to kill all the soldiers on both the sides, except you, the Pandavas, everybody are going to die. So just you have to become my instrument. And then Arjuna offers prayers. And so finally, Krishna concludes in the last, I think, 5 shlokas or 7 shlokas, 47 to 55, only on the pure devotion, like how one cannot obtain Krishna by any study of Vedas or charity or the sacrifice, or austerity. So these things, but only by pure devotion one can attain. And the highest, actually, he already said in the previous chapter that only pure and he showed the two-handed form also to the uh, and he says that this is very durlabha, sudurlabha. No, sudurlabha means very rare to achieve, because even devas, they aspire to see this form of me, because it's not easy to see Krishna's form. Because usually devatas, whenever there is a problem, they go to Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. So Krishna is not very easy to see. So chapter 12. So Lord Krishna shows his universal form. So Arjuna's attachment to personal two-handed form. So actually it starts with question from Arjuna. So which is the form is considered to be the highest? Is it the universe? Because Krishna speaks about, I mean, Krishna has spoke about the unmanifested, that is the universal form, right? The universal form and the impersonal form and the personal form. So all the three. So he want to further clarify, so that this is again, these questions are for us, so that people should not get confused, because after seeing Vishwarup, one should not consider that that is the highest. So that is why it starts with a question. And Arjuna himself is personally attached to the personal form, right? So after hearing and seeing Lord's inestimable personal opulences, Arjuna again wants to hear about devotional service. So why does he ask? To clarify his position as a devotee who works for Krishna, as opposed to a gnani who renounces work. So we saw, like when Krishna, when he wants to supposed to show him the universal form, he says that I will give you divya drishti. Actually, he was always in. So there are three kind of eyes. One is material eyes, one is divine, and one is one with this anointed with the love for the Lord. So that is prema chakshu. We have charma chakshu. The normal human has that, and divya chakshu was given to Sanjaya by Vyasadeva also. So the same kind of divya chakshu was given to Arjuna, which was actually a lower according to him, because he was already in a much more higher place. because the 5 rasas which we have in spiritual world, that does not have any this Vishwarupa form, right? Because this Vishwarupa is there only in the material world, not in spiritual world. Okay. So he asked to clarify his position because he always considered Krishna to be his friend. So he wanted to know whether the kind of worship he does, or like a 200, he is attached to 200 form of the Lord, is right or not. To clarify his position as being attached to personal form of Krishna as superior to universal form or unmanifested. So these are the 3 sections. 12 to 7, Bhakti over impersonalism. And Krishna explains about superiority of Bhakti and what are the differences, why one should take Bhakti over impersonalism. And then he starts to explain about progressive stages of devotion, where one, if Krishna gives different choices, if you're not able to do this, then you can do this. So next stages, right? So from highest to lowest, it starts with the highest Ananya Bhakti, and slowly it goes down. So, and then Krishna explains about the qualities of a devotee, of a pure devotee, or qualities of a devotee that endear to the Lord. So those is this very small chapter. I don't know if I'm able to cover today the complete. I thought like maybe in one class I can complete, but I think so. The qualities will go will be very. I mean, many are there in detail, so it may go till tomorrow. I'm not sure. Arjuna uvacha evam satata yukta ye bhaktasvam paryupasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam teshanke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna inquired, which is considered to be more perfect, those who are properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? So Prabhupada says that there are 2 kind of transcendentalists. Transcendentalist means what? Knowing, who is trying to know about the Lord, who knows that he is not body and there is somebody supreme above him and he is actually a subordinate, right? So there are 2 type of people. One is an impersonalist and one is a personalist. Impersonalist, the name itself indicate that they don't believe in the form of the Lord. So they meditate upon impersonal feature of the Lord. Actually, impersonal feature of the Lord, as we know, it is the Brahman, right? So what are the 3 stages of God realization? 3 stages in God realization. Yes?
Yes.
Huh? What are they?
Paramatma and Bhagwan.
Brahman,
Ah.
Brahman, Paramatma,
Yeah.
and Supreme
Yes.
Personality of Godhead.
Correct. Yes. So first is Brahman, right? Brahman. What is Brahman mean? Brahman realization means what?
It's impersonal realization.
Yeah. So it's a effulgence of the Lord, right? We can see in this picture, this light. So which is actually effulgence of light, which is coming from the Lord's body. So some people, some impersonal, they want to merge in the Lord's body. So that is what they desire, so that they will not get back again to this material world. But then that is not the highest, because there is no service there. So they will fall down, because they will not be able to stay there for a long time without any service, and they will fall down. And Prabhupada says that such people will come and they will start doing some philanthropic works, right? And all these things. So impersonal Brahman. And second is the Paramatma feature, the yogis, right? They meditate upon the 400 feature of the Lord. So Paramatma is who is the super soul in our heart. So the Vishnu form with the Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. So that form is Paramatma. And then there is a unmanifested, which and then there is the Bhagwan, which is Nama Rupa Guna Namni. So which, to understand God in proper sense means, so understand that Krishna is a person, he has a name, he has he has a qualities, and he has a pastime, right? To understand him completely. So that complete understanding is called as Bhagwan feature of the Lord. So this impersonalism means what? One has to, it is very difficult because it is above the reach of senses. It's beyond the sense perception. Because how can you meditate upon, you close your eyes and if I say you meditate upon something blank, right? It's very difficult because, further Krishna explains that why is it difficult, right? So this is Krishna form. And yeah. So, Prabhupada has given in the purport that every chapter, if we see in Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion is that one has to attach the personal form of the Lord. Even in the chapter 9, if you remember, what did Krishna say in the last shloka? Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi yuktaivam atmanam matparayanaha, right? So, manmana bhava madbhakto, always think of me. So how can you think if there is no form? Krishna was always there stressing about the personal form only. Madhyaji mam namaskuru, pay obeisances unto me. Mame vaishasippenam. In that way, when you worship, so you will surely come to me. And also in the end of 6th chapter, Krishna says that yogina, he declares there are, we see about all the Ashtanga Yoga in chapter 6. And finally, Krishna declares that योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनन्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः. So of all the yogis, I consider the Bhakti yogi to be the highest because there are all the different type of yogis who want to attain the Lord, but they are doing, most of them are doing their own endeavor. They try to do it. It's all mental speculation. No? There's a easy way, but somebody want to take a difficult way. But though both may achieve, but then it is easiest ways the bhakti. So in the chapter 2, we understand that living entity is spiritual spark and Krishna is the spiritual whole. Yeah. So the 6.47 says that yoga, bhakti yogi is the best. Bhakti yoga is the best of all the yogas. And in chapter 7, we understand that living entity is part and parcel of the whole, right? So first Krishna there, he explains about the material energy and then he says that apart from this material energy, because Krishna has two type of energies, when one is material and one is spiritual. So both are belong to the Lord, but Krishna says that living entity are the higher ones. The etadyonini bhutani, no, no, not that one. So he first explains that bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakritirashtada etadyonini bhutani sarvani tipamdharaya. No, I'm mistaking. There is one more. What is the next shloka? Santosh Prabhu. After that, I think 7.5 or something, 5 or 6. So where Krishna says that there is one more higher, which is the living entity. So living entity is actually exploiting the material nature, which is exploiting the material nature, Krishna says there. So recommends one to transfer his full attention to the whole. So living entity is part and parcel of the whole. So hence, because we are part and parcel of the whole, it becomes our duty to engage in service of Lord. So that is what chapter 7. And in chapter 8, we see that anyone who thinks about the Lord at the time of death, he will surely attain to the spiritual sky, that is to the abode of Lord. So only way to have association of Supreme Personality of Godhead is through devotional service. Okay, so now what was the question here? If you go back, Arjuna asked that, which is better, personalism or impersonalism? So this is the Lord answers here. Shri Bhagavan Maya Vesha Mano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Teme Same Yukta Tamo Mataha. The blessed, Santosh Prabhu, you want to read the translation?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
The blessed Lord said, he whose mind is fixed on my personal form, always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith is considered by me to be the most perfect. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So, so here Krishna he has already answered here, saying that who worship my fixed personal form. So, how do we worship? So, in this material world, obviously we cannot. Like pure devotees, yes. But Brahma Samhita says that when they close their eyes, no, they can always see the Shama Sundar Rupa. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Rudayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So, who is in always like Ananya Bhaktas, where they're thinking of Lord, they can always see the feature of the Lord, the two-handed form, Shama Sundara, Yam Shama Sundara Guna, right? He says there. But then we cannot see. So, that is why Krishna has come in the form of a deity. So, that is why we don't call it as an idol. No? It's not called as idol, it is Archa Vigraha. And Prabhupada says that it is just like an example we can take. There is a post box. So when there is a government post box out in your street, when you post something, right, you are sure that it is going to reach the destination. But if there is some other box, somebody or some children have made it, like, but then if we post there, it will not go, right? So there is no guarantee that that will reach. It will not go. Nobody will come and take it. So similarly like that, so this Archa Vigraha means it is properly established through Narada, as per the Shilpa Shastra, it has been carved and then established by the bona fide Acharya with all the Narada Pancharatra rituals. So there is God in that. So, and then, so here it is said, Maya Veshya Manomeyamam. So how to absorb, like he whose mind is fixed on my personal form is how, and what does he do? He always engage in the service of the Lord with great transcendental faith. So this faith, many places Krishna says that this is the most important factor in Bhakti Yoga. If one does not have faith, in chapter 9, Krishna says, Ashraddadhana Purushaha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivattante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. So those who don't believe in my words, so they will again come back to this ocean of birth and death. Ashraddadhana Purusha means one who don't believe or have faith in me. They will have to come back to this material world. So, but then who worship the Lord? So thinking that the deity, and we have seen also many examples in the history that how deities have reciprocated to the devotees. It's not that they're just some stone or something, right? They reciprocate. That is the reason we also offer to the Lord the bhog. Why do we offer? Because Krishna will accept it. Krishna said, no? Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahratam ashnami prayatatmanaha. When one serves the Lord a leaf, a flower, water, or a fruit with love, ashnami priyatatmana. But the condition is that you have to offer with love. And how that love will come, and if you don't have faith, so it's not possible, right? So one should have a faith that Lord is present, and one has to offer it. So yeah, so here Krishna said that the personal form is the highest. So the three things in the shloka, Maya Veshya Manoyama means fix my mind on my personal form. Nitya Yukta Upasate means always engaged in worship me. Shraddaya Parayopeta means with the transcendental faith. So Krishna conscious activities are not material because everything is done for Krishna. So maybe somebody may feel like, okay, so they're spending so much and doing festivals and celebrating, right, enjoying or like that. But then it's all done for happiness of the Lord, to satisfy or to please the Lord, not for our own sense enjoyment, right? So a pure devotee is in full samadhi because of his constant engagement. So how to be in full samadhi? So engaging in all the activities. So there are 9 Navavida Bhakti. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So any of this, one has to get engaged in those services, and also engaging in the chanting the holy name or hearing. This also comes in the same Navavida Bhakti, and cooking for the Lord, right? And shopping for the deity dress or getting the ornaments for the Lord. So everything, whatever you do, even the mopping in the temple is also a service. So there is no lower or higher service. Everything gives the same benefit. Even a person who is doing a deity worship or somebody is doing a mopping in the temple, both will get the same benefit because both are Krishna service. No? So he does not waste a single moment. So if we have to apply this to us, how can we do complete absorption? So basically, our main thing, we have distraction while chanting. No, so we are not able to focus on chanting. So there are few things which I will mention how one can overcome the inattentive chanting, right? So basically, what is the reason of this inattentive chanting? Is it is said that it is because of lack of attraction. So we are so much attracted towards material things and so much in illusion. So we are not able to get that interest for devotional service because for many, many lives, we have done that sense gratification. So it is that ruchi has not come, right? But then obviously, since we are connected with the higher one, slowly we will develop the taste. Param društva nivartate. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur, what does he recommend? He says that when chanting, one can, if you are very attentive, you are not able to chant, you can even cover your eyes and ears, nose, and even he says even the nose there, but really very hard, right? So you have to cover yourself up so that there is no distraction outside. So what we can do is at least keep your mobile phones away. That is a most distractive thing, right? If you just one message, if you think and take the mobile and you will end up, I mean, you will never know how much time it will take. So yeah, this is my personal experience also. Like even if I do after some rounds, if I take a mobile or something, we think that something important or we think of seeing it, then what happens? It will just kill our time. We will not be able to. I mean, so better to keep it away while chanting. So and then it is said it is laziness. So many times what happens, we cannot sit and do for a long time. It is said anarthas. So for a pure devotees, you see, I mean, the more senior devotees, they sit in a one place and complete 16 rounds. It's not easy. We cannot sit like that. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada says that once you sit and start chanting, at least 4 rounds, one should finish it seems. So only after 4 rounds, we can get up and do some other work if you have, or then come back again and then start your next 4. So, but we are not following that. At least try to do 1 round at least before getting up. Don't get up before completing 1 round in one place, right? And then, yeah. So one can remember about the death, it is said. So when you remember the death, the people become very serious, right? When do we think about God? Only when we are in danger. Sankata Bandare Venkatramana, it's said in Kannada, we say that, right? So when there is a misery, only people think about the Lord. So NND Prabhuji also recently was saying, like when they were in flight and there were a lot of vibration and they were all afraid, right? So that time, what happens? Immediately you start thinking about the Lord. It comes automatically to us. Um, so we should always think. So death can be at any time. Right? So remembering death, just like how, and it has to be like in a prayerful mood, just like the Kulashekara, the king Kulashekara, how he prayed to the Lord. You know, that I mean, I don't know what will be my situation or my health condition at the time of death. So I please take me now. Like that was his prayer, but that was a mood. We are not saying that. We are not in a position to say that because that has to come from heart. And Krishna will not take also. And yeah, and like Haridas Thakur. So how he was so much immersed in uh, the devotion. I mean, the chanting of the holy name. So much taste one should have. It's not easy to chant. We are doing as a duty to complete 16 rounds, but then doing more than that really needs the taste. Otherwise, it's not possible. Yeah. So shloka 3 and 4. But those who,
Yeah. But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. By practicing yoga, people try to stop the mind from thinking, but it is impossible. The goal of life is not to become unconscious, but to become superconscious. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is what Prabhupada says, because unconscious means you are actually blocking everything. Your mind, you are stopping, or you have to stop your senses. Initially, externally, they stop everything, and then internally. So it's not easy controlling of various senses. No. So this worshipping of the unmanifested, which is not at all, I mean, merging into Brahman, is not interested for the devotees. Actually, devotees say that Kaivalya Narakayate means merging into Brahman is like a going to a hell. So maybe there is no material miseries, because in that platform there is no material, they're free from material miseries. But then there is no happiness. That real transcendental happiness is coming only in Krishna consciousness. Because even Brahma Samhita says that, the yogis meditate upon for many years, they're controlling the breath. But then what happens after that? Many janma they come. Bahunam janma namante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. Because these yogis, they meditate upon many years, and finally they come to conclusion, okay, Krishna is the highest. So this is actually for people who don't want to take the devotional service directly. So characteristic of a personal conception, he's unmanifested. So manifested and unmanifested, which is not visible, is called as unmanifested. Beyond sense perception, it's not possible for our senses to perceive because we are embodied, right? So all pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable. So these are from all the words from the shloka actually. So how to worship the unmanifested? By controlling various senses, and by equally disposed to everyone. So equally disposed means, so engaging in, I mean, in the social, not considering everyone, seeing on the platform of soul, not seeing them on a material platform. So, I mean, considering every living entity is to be a part and parcel of the soul. By engaging in welfare of all. Difficult for any common man, much penance involved before the ultimate realization of full surrender takes place. So here Krishna says, what is the difficulty of meditating on impersonal feature? Kleshodhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkam dehavadbir avapyate.
For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal future of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied.
Yeah. So Krishna, Hare Krishna. So Krishna is saying that it is not easy. Why? Because we are embodied soul. So embodied means though we are a pure spirit soul, but we have been taking lives. I mean, we have been embodied. Embodied in the sense the soul is covered with a subtle body, which is mind, intelligence, and the false ego. And then it is again covered by the material elements: earth, water, ether, fire, air. So like that, we are taking in the 84 lakh species, so many lives we have taken. So since we have been taking the bodies, it's very difficult for us to concentrate on something where there is no form. So that is what the Lord is saying here. It's not easy. It's difficult for those who are embodied. And Prabhupada says that for such people, though they come like Krishna says, no, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadita, after many lives they'll come to me. For such impersonalists, it becomes even difficult because of many births, they have been developing such kind of faith that impersonal is the highest. So for them to get that faith in the personal form becomes very difficult. So it's always, even here, also even when they go to Brahma Jyoti, both are difficult for them. So there is no happiness because Krishna's, when we realize Bhagwan feature, that is read Sat Chit Ananda. So in Brahman realization, only Sat feature is revealed of the Lord, which means the knowledge. Eternity, eternal. And then Chit means knowledge, and Ananda, Chat-Chit Ananda means the happiness. So happiness one can attain only when he dovetails himself, his activities in the service of Lord and becomes a devotee. Only then that happiness can be attained. Yeah. So two group of transcendentalists, both ultimately bring to the same goal. But what is the difference? It will take a long time for Gnana Yogis to come, right? Because of the path is not easy. Krishna conscious is a direct method. Yeah. So meditate on formless. So there's a impersonalist and personalist. Okay. So in terms of practice, so meditate on formless. The impersonalist meditate upon the formless, and the personalist meditate on the form of a deity, right? And impersonalist unmanifested is beyond the senses, because they have the method is to restrict the senses. And in personalist, senses can perceive the deity and sound of mantra, engages the senses. Just like Amrish Maharaj, how he engaged all the senses. No? So how can we engage our senses? Like seeing the deity in the with our eyes, with the hands, we can do the chanting, and also we can cook for prasad for the Lord. And with the nose, we can smell the tulsi leaves, and with the mouth we eat the prasad and chant the holy name, right? With the leg one can walk to the temple. I mean, this is what Amrish Maharaj did with all his hands and legs. Like he used, though he was a king, right? So he was a pure devotee of the Lord. So must understand the Brahman through Upanishad. So learn the language Sanskrit, understand the non-perpetual feelings. So basically it involves so many things, because it takes own endeavor to understand the Lord. And it's not easy. I mean, Krishna says, it's not easy to understand me. I mean, Naham Vedaina tapasa, Naham Chanena. I mean, in 11th chapter we see, Naham Vedaina tapasa, Naham Danena Charjaya. He says that Naham Vedena Tapasa. I cannot be understood by studying of Vedas. These are all actually not very easy. One has to, Prabhupada says that, I mean, learning Sanskrit, I mean, when they had given one translation work to a person who had learned Sanskrit for 10 years, and he was not, 1 month also, he was not able to do even one shloka. And then Prabhupada said, so this is the thing, right? It's not easy. If we say that, okay, I will learn Bhagavad Gita, some will say like that. First, let me learn that and do. But I'm not against to Sanskrit. Actually, Prabhupada himself was a scholar and a Sanskrit scholar. And we can learn to basic, we can learn if we are interested, so that it will help us to learn the shlokas for proper pronunciation. And also it's a beautiful language also, because Sanskrit is a mother of all languages, all European languages, no? And this is a Sanatana Dharma. So it's always good. We can learn. It's not like learning is never bad. But we should not think that I will read all and then I will come to Bhakti Yoga. So that is not right. So understand Krishna through devotional service. Simple chanting Hare Krishna guidance of bona fide spiritual master simply by offering regulative obeisances unto deity, hearing and glories of Lord, eating the remnants of foodstuff offered to the Lord. So very simple. Prabhupada says that Krishna conscious means eating, right? Eating, dancing, and what is that? Kirtan. So only these things, very easy and easy process to attain God. Long practice make it difficult to take up bhakti in impersonalism, right? But personalist, it comes very naturally. And how the devotee starts how much ever the way how we reciprocate. I mean, Krishna reciprocate the way how we behave with the Lord, right? If we think that as a stone, he is stone. But if we think he's really there in that, and in the same way, Krishna reciprocates. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajamyaham, right? So it's very comes naturally for a devotee. So impersonalist, it's very troublesome because there is no relationship with the Lord. So when there is no relationship, because he's on his own endeavor, he's trying to do it. So Krishna's mercy component is missing. No? But here for devotee, Krishna says that so misery is mitigated by relationship with Krishna. Krishna delivers devotee from Maya. This comes in, I think, next shloka. Because Krishna himself recommends the process out of parental love by his causeless mercy. So differences between the Brahman and Bhagwan. So Brahman is Nirguna. Nirguna means without quality. But actually even the Lord is called as Nirguna. But that is not that means. That means that he don't have a material quality. Okay. And Bhagwan is a Saguna. Saguna means with all the form and form quality. Nama Rupa Guna Namni. So Brahman is a inconceivable, and Bhagwan is, he possesses inconceivable potency. It is inconceivable. Actually, the form is inconceivable here, but in Bhagwan, his potencies of the Lord is inconceivable. No? After explaining all 82 opulences, what did Krishna say at the last? So this is only a spark. I just told very less. What is there to know about? Very little Krishna explains after explaining all opulences. So it's not possible to know the full potency of the Lord, right? So it is, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, it is just like in a bucket of sesame. Just one sesame is our universe. So we can't understand Krishna's potencies. So Brahman is all-pervading. Bhagwan all-pervading by energy as a super soul. Krishna says in chapter 7, no, everything is staying in place because of my energy, all planets. Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. Just like how the pearl necklace is held by a thread. So I am holding by my energy. He's all pervading, but his energy is holding as a super soul. So Brahman is unchanging, fixed, immovable. So Bhagavan is unchanging, fixed, immovable, cannot perceive any opulence because of lack of activity. So possessor of 6 opulences in full. What are the 6 opulences of Krishna? Yes.
Yeah. All fame, all wealthy, all renunciation.
All rich, all renunciation.
All riches. Yeah, all wealthy, all riches are the same.
Yeah.
All fame, all renunciation.
Yeah. Fame, right?
All knowledge.
Yeah.
All knowledge.
Yes.
Yes. And
the remaining 2.
All strength.
Yes, all strength.
Right? All strength, all knowledge. Yeah.
No, one
so
more
all
is
beauty. All beauty, you said?
Yes, all beauty. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So these are the 6 opulences of the Lord. So this only in Bhagwan realization it is possible to understand. Because if they're not interested in knowing the pastime of the Lord, how will they accept the opulences of the Lord? They will not know. So it's not possible to perceive. So in the Brahman, risk of not realizing absolute truth at the end, because there's no guarantee that they will realize the truth. But in Bhagwan, the success is guaranteed. So here in Brahman, may realize the Sat and knowledge, Chit aspect of his original nature. It is partial realization. So Brahman, actually, it is said it is not complete realization, but in the bliss part is only in the Bhagwan realization. So in this shloka, Etu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate teshamaham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam.
For one who worships me, giving up all his activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, who has fixed his mind upon me, O son of Pruta, for him I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
So this shloka, from here Krishna speaks about the progressive stage of bhakti. So it explains about the Ananya Bhakti. Ananyena yogena, right? So mam dhyayanta upasate. Yeah. So Ananya yoga means engaging in the devotional service of the Lord. Is it this look? Yeah. Okay. So one who worship me, giving up all activities, so who is devoted without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, who has fixed his mind upon me, O son of Pruta, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So Krishna helps that person to come out of this birth and death, and he takes him to the spiritual planet, right? So Prabhupada says that if there is an ocean and even an expert swimmer will not be able to cross over an ocean, it's not easy. No? So similarly, this is like considered like that ocean, the material world. So it's not easy to escape from here unless we have if Krishna's help. No, we cannot. So just like how like there are two kind of, it is said, right? So devotees, when there is a death for a non-devotee and a death for a devotee, right? So like Krishna, the cat and a kitten. So cat and a kitten means one is cat and a kitten and one is cat and rat. So cat and rat is a non-devotee, where Krishna says, no, in chapter 11, that I will come as Kala and I will destroy everything. How he killed everyone because they were all on a dharmic path. And for non-devotees, Krishna will come like that. But for the devotees, Krishna is like a cat and a kitten, like how a mother protects the baby. So in the same way, how a child is cared by parents. So similarly, Krishna take care of the devotee because he knows the destiny. So even the devotee is not afraid of death because he knows what is his destination. So yeah. And it can be it is just like, also we need who will show us the route is the spiritual master. So it is Prabhupada says that we have already fallen into in this, so we should not ask why we have come here and these things. We just have to, somebody is giving hand, just take it and get away from there, right? So a person is like if somebody is drowning and somebody gives a rope, right, from a ship, somebody is coming and helping, we should, that person first should think that how will I go from here, not asking like who are you, right? That question, not question. So we should not be worried about why we are here and all those things, but somehow by mercy of some pious deed or in the previous lives we have done, or somehow we have got because of mercy of Prabhupada in contact with the devotees and the Krishna consciousness. We have to make use of this knowledge, I mean the process of devotional service, right? And then go back to Godhead. You can, okay. So this is concluded. Krishna says that, sir, in the end of chapter 18, Sarvadharmam parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhya mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Read, Prabhu.
One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life, because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. That is the highest perfection of life. One should not make futile efforts to deliver himself without surrendering to the Lord.
Yeah. So
Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna takes away all the sinful reactions, whoever surrenders on to the Lord with the complete faith, right? So now the progressive stages of devotion. Mayyeva mana adhatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayyeva atah urdhvam na samshayah. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I'm sorry, I lost the audio.
Okay.
Yeah, just fix upon your mind. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always, without a doubt.
Yeah. So even in the chapter 6, Krishna says that whoever, in meditating upon Lord, right? Yomam pashyati sarvatra mayam pashyati. So whoever is able to think always about the Lord and sees everything in the world in relation to the Lord, right? So such person will definitely go back to Godhead. So here Ananya Bhakta means they need not endeavor anything to think about Lord. Like we have to endeavor to think. So that is why we engage in different devotional services and these things. But they don't really do. They have done all that in the past lives, and now they are not doing anything. Right? We can see in the picture the Krishna is playing with his cowherd friends. So they are all done so much of austerity in previous lives, and now 24/7 they always thinking. So without any difficulty. So they are called as Ananya Bhakta. Ananya Bhakta means always thinking about Krishna, the gopis, right? And the Vrajvasis, all are Ananya Bhaktas. So it is just Prabhupada, Rupa Swami Prabhupada gives an example like it is just like when a mother, so there is a baby at home, and then there is babies used some items, right? When the baby is away from home, whenever she sees the item, right, immediately the baby will come to mind. So similarly, the devotees, whatever they see in the creation, they are able to relate. Just like even Prabhupada was like that, no? Whatever he saw, he used to relate that to Krishna. Anything. I mean, he never saw anything to be a material. Whatever he saw, and he saw that to be a of related to Krishna. So that is the Ananya Bhakti. This is Krishna says that this is the highest. Always thinking, fixing mind in Krishna. So this is considered to be the topmost. So benefit, you will all live in me always without a doubt. So though Krishna says in chapter 9 that I'm equal to everyone, samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha. There's nobody, somebody very dear to me or somebody I hate. But then why is Krishna saying that this is topmost and I'm always without a doubt, I'll be there? So that is because but whoever does the devotional, in the last line he says, ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyam. But then who engages in my devotional service, I am always there for him, not for everyone. So yeah. So this is the next sadhana. अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिराम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततः मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय.
My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, If you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will develop a desire to attain me. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So here, this is for sadhana bhaktas. So sadhana means doing all the right. Prabhupada has given. So following the regulative principles, four regulative principles, and chanting the 16 rounds, getting up for Mangalarti. No? There are so many things, or offering the bhog to the Lord. So in different activities, or like in temple, it will be even more. No, continuously they are engaged. They are not free. So maybe the materialistic person may think that the devotees don't have much work, but actually they have continuous work. No, they don't have a time at all. There's so much, because so much services are there in temple for the Lord. Because Krishna is considered as a person. So every early morning he is been made to wake up, and then Rabdi is given morning, and then they do the puja, and then there is a darshanarti at 7:30, right? And before that, samsar dava and all that, and then now there is a chanting they will do, and after that again Guru Puja, right, Darshanarti, and then they'll be offering to Lord. So like that it goes. Even in the afternoon, Krishna is made to sleep, and then evening again he is made to wake up, and then he is given some bhog, offered bhog, and then evening there is a Sandhya Arti, and night Krishna is made to sleep. There is a very nice bed also made for the lordships, right, for them to sleep. So many things, and so they are completely engaged. So so this is like, this is preparing, I mean, following the regulative principles. So example is like, so when if you have to drive a car, so initially we cannot directly take the car directly to the road. No, we need a practice. So we'll initially in a known ground or open ground, empty ground, somewhere we will practice, or somebody we will take from a driving school, right? All the controls will be with that other person. We are only keeping the steering wheel, but then the clutch and gear, these things, control will be with the instructor. So in that way it will be. So similarly, we are in the hands of the person, in the hands of spiritual master. So he is only following whatever the spiritual master is given. So because there are two type of bhakti which Rupa Goswami Prabhupada says. One is the Raganuga bhakti, no? One is sadhana bhakti or Vaidehi bhakti. Vaidehi bhakti means the it's not coming naturally to us, to love Krishna or to render service. So we are forcibly, or we are doing as a rules, because it has been prescribed, this is right, you are doing that. But then by doing that continuously, what will happen? Our senses will get purified. And it is said that dormant love is always there. No? That love for Krishna is always there. So what are spiritual masters actually doing? They're trying to awaken that. So everyone are pure. By nature, all the soul is pure, but that is in a dormant stage. So they are trying to awaken it. So only they are trying to do that. Or that is what the saintly people they do. So, but then we have to follow the principles and to be in the association of devotees, sadhu sangha. It's very important. Na? So this is slowly elevating to the Ananya Bhakti stage. So yeah. So here Krishna says, those who have not developed attachment for Krishna, so how will they attain the pure love for Krishna? So for them, they have to follow the devotional service with perfect senses, the guidance of Guru. So there's no specific qualification required. Anyone can practice. And there is surety of love of God. Because this practically we can see. There are so many right, senior disciples who are now like proper direct disciples, many Maharajs. So all of them, we can, by their the way how they are involved, by seeing their dedication and how they've given up everything for, I mean, they've given all material opulences. They had so much of riches, and all the Goswamis, how they got that faith and they dedicated their life to Krishna, right? So, and we can see that how they are, all the godly qualities come in them. So because they are associating with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So When something, even anything associated with the Lord becomes, even the impurest thing become pure, because Krishna is the purest. Shuddham apapaviddham, Krishna is said to be. So even if that is not possible, Krishna says here, Abhyasepya samattosi matkarma paramo bhava madartamapi karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi.
If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Abhyasepya samartosi means even if you are not able to follow regulative principle, right? Then this is called as Nishkama Karma Yoga. So Nishkama Karma Yoga means he's not ready to give up the results of the work. But then what can be done? So some or other way you can render service to the Lord by engaging one's time or money or intelligence. So in chapter 11, Krishna explains the last one. Mat karma krut mat paramaha mat karma krut mat paramaha mad bhakta sanga varjitaha. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu. Yes, what is that last line? Yes, samameti pandava. Yeah. So he says there. So Krishna says how you can matkarma, do work for the Lord, and how to do the work. So you can either if some people have money, they can give, because the temple is for the temple, and then because for the construction of temple, I mean so many things, so much of monetary requirement is there, no? So in that way one can do, or intelligence in the sense, you can at least, if you are able to do some service, or if you are able to take the some bhakti vriksha groups, right, or something, or taking some classes also, even for the children or for the youth, right, or for adults, like anything one can take the service or time you can give for giving, for doing the, or book distribution, right, or engaging or helping others indirectly, like in whoever is engaged in the book distribution. So in that, or we can also engage, so in that way, in helping somebody who is doing the Krishna conscious work also is called as, or you have a, like every month we have this 18 days Bhagavad Gita course, so sending that link also to many people, so that somebody will get the benefit. So that is also a punya in the sense, it is a bhakti, I mean a karma, it's not a punya, it comes in bhakti, a karma account.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes. Perform divorce. So this is different shlokas. So shloka 8, that Ananya Bhakti, and then is a regulative principle, and then it talks about work for Krishna. So how to perform based on 11.55. So Prabhupada says that being sympathetic to propagation of Krishna conscious movement, every endeavor needs land, capital, organization, labor, like in any business, can help it build a temple or help in publication, etc. One cannot sacrifice result of his activities, at least sacrifice some percentage of result. So we have different services now in temple, like starts from monthly 500 also. Like one can do whatever you are earning. So in that you can take up some service, like some 500 or 1000 rupees. So it start very minimum also. One can take it up, right? So this is the shloka. Matkar makrut mat paramaha mad bhakta sanga varjitaha nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yasamameti pandava.
My dear Arjuna, one who is engaged in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of previous activities and from mental speculation, who is friendly to every living entity, certainly comes to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is the quality of devotee which Krishna has explained. Okay, now next. Okay, this is Sakama Karma. So there's no yoga here, you can see. So it is Athaidadapya Shaktosi Kartu Madyogamashritah Sarva Karma Palatyagam Tata Kuru Yatatmavan.
If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah. So what is
Yeah.
this basically? It is not for Krishna because the person is not engaged in devotional service actually. But then Krishna says that, okay, you are not able to do even that. So even you are not able to give part to the Krishna, then at least do something. I mean, don't work for the, I mean, giving up the result of the work. That means engaging in some charity and these things, no? Giving or to the hospital, or some people give to the orphanages and these things. So it means slowly one can come to the highest platform. By doing charity, what happens? That attachment, I mean, he slowly get detached. He's not thinking that everything is mine. Like that kind of mentality will go by giving to others, by serving others. So slowly one elevates to higher platform. But this is not a pure bhakti.
Karma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
If
read.
one is unable to directly involve in Krishna karma due to society, family, religion, or other obstructions, he may sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to some good cause approved by the Vedas. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. If one is not interested in Krishna consciousness, giving one's hard-earned money as charity to hospitals or social institutions is recommended, as this act of philanthropy is sure to purify his mind gradually and enable him to understand Krishna consciousness. Even social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc., someday reach the person to the stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad
Yeah,
Gita 18.46. Yeah.
it's
Hare
continued.
Krishna. Yeah.
Yata
Yeah.
pravrittirbhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam sarvakarmana tam abhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha.
Mataji, that is Swakarmana.
Huh?
Swakarman. Swa.
Swakarmana.
Yes.
Swakarmana. Yeah.
Yeah. If one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by the sacrificial method.
Yeah. So basically, it is like the wet wood will take a long time to catch fire. No, so that is what they are doing. If somebody is taking to Sakarma, so it will take many lives for them to elevate to Nishkama and then come to the Sadhana Bhakti and then come to Nishkama, right? Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnana jnanam vishishyate dhyanat karma pala tyagah tyagat chantiranantaram.
If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So here the next steps, even if you are not able to do that also, right? Even you are not able to do any charity, then at least engage in reading some scripture, get the knowledge. So knowledge means knowing about the soul. So knowing about the soul, and so that is gaining of I'm not body, I'm soul, no, that knowledge. And then if that is also not possible, and meditation. So meditation is not on the the normal meditation, but this is some Prabhupada says some kind of meditation, so which is going to give them a peace of mind, right? So some kind of meditation the people will engage, and better than that is said to be the renunciation. So renunciation will so these things also will bring it. It is said renunciation of fruits of action, so that will also uh, bring peace, because there is no material miseries in that. But this is not highest. Sorry. Okay, this is the same, the 4 shlokas. So first shloka, Ananya Bhakti. Next is the Sadhana Bhakti. Then work for Krishna. Krishna says work for me by giving up result. And then giving up result of work, Sakama Karma. And then developing knowledge, cultivation of knowledge, and then result of knowledge, one understand real position, and then comes to meditation. So gradually the final one is the renunciation of fruits as better. So these are the different steps. If we are not able to do the Ananya Bhakti, Krishna gives these many things. So although Karma Yoga is the lowest on the Karma Yoga ladder, Krishna says that it is better than meditation because it is more practical and does not disturb the mind with harsh and impractical requirements. So Karma Yoga means what? So whatever we are doing, some giving up, engaging, anything, you are some part of it, if we are giving to the Lord, right? That becomes Karma Yoga. But if we are only doing or earning for our sense gratification, then it has become only Bhoga. We are not doing anything for Lord. So these are the 4 stages. The topmost is the Ananya Bhakti. So here we can see the lowest is renunciation, cultivation, knowledge, and meditation. Result, purification, peace, and gradual elevation. Work for Krishna, result will come to the stage of devotional service. And higher to that is follow regulative principles of sadhana bhakti, develop desire to attain Krishna, and the highest is fixing mind on Krishna. That we will live in relationship with Lord in spiritual world. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead can be reached through 2 processes, direct process and gradual development. Arjuna, already at the stage of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord, indirect method is not suggested. It is for others who are not at this stage. For them, the gradual process of renunciation, knowledge, meditation, and realization of the Super Soul and Brahman should be followed. Bhagavad Gita lays emphasis on the direct method, that is trust. Everyone is advised to take to the direct method and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada gives here in Papa that though all these different methods have been explained, so this is not for a devotee or a pure, not for Arjuna. Here it is said because he is already in a the highest platform of Ananya Bhakti. Always is a pure devotee, and also not for the devotees. One should not. Because it's not more emphasis Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita is only towards the direct method than on the others. No, that is only for somebody who is proper is giving here, that somebody who is not able to worship take into devotional service. Okay, this we can see next the chapter section C. We'll see tomorrow the qualities that endear one to Krishna. Okay, any questions?